What up? What up? What's going on? Millions.co. It's your boy. It's your host, Ryan from the Six, man. You know what it is. Boxing talk up north. I'm in the house with my man, undefeated prospect, 6-0, Kyle Lacanlale. You coming from the West Coast, man. Early over there.
Yes, sir. 7:30 over here. Thanks for having me.
No problem, man. I see you got a fight coming up, man. April 4th. Who you do you know the opponent yet? Or you guys still looking for an opponent?
We have an opponent locked in for April 4th. I'm ready. We've seen them before. We stepping up with each fight, so I'm excited.
Right, right. That's good, man. That's good. So this is your seventh fight. What's your goal for this year at the end of the year when just looking at the landscape of boxing so far? What do you want to do?
With each fight, we're trying to up the competition. This should be my last four rounder. I'm excited to start fighting in 6 round fights. This year, my goal, I want to stay active. Hopefully get 4 to 5 fights by the end of the year.
Okay. Yo, that's good activity, man. So this will be your last four rounder. That's good for you. So you and your team feel like you ready for six. Have you already like been sparring for 6 and 8 rounds on forward?
hmm I spar a lot of rounds. I feel like my body's conditioned and ready to start going 6, 8 rounds. The competition in sparring has been great. I've been sparring with a lot of top amateurs and professional fighters, so we're ready to step my game up with these fights.
Okay, man. Let's talk about your journey, man. What got you into boxing? I mean, it's not the typical sport like the other sports.
Yeah, for me too, especially I live in San Ramon, California, so there's not a lot of boxers that come out of the city that I come from. So when I tell people I box, it was often a surprise growing up. Like, you box, and so for me growing up, I played all the sports. We knocked off the ones I didn't like, but boxing and basketball were the two that stuck for me. Um, and as I grew, in basketball or team sports, you could rely or hide behind other people. So in boxing, I really like the fact that it's on you, the work you put in, and the training that you put in outside the gym is gonna show in the ring. So if you don't come prepared, you're gonna get exposed. And after my first fight at 8 years old, um, I fell in love with the game, and it's been boxing since then.
Wow, man. 8 years old, bro. Like, what was your first fight? Like, do you even remember it? Like being that
Yeah, I
young?
do. My first fight, I had all my family come through. It was a packed house at an amateur show, so obviously all the nerves and things like that that come with the first fight. But having my family there to support me since the beginning was something I always remember. I ended up fighting this dude. He was about 10, 11 pounds heavier than me. A whole head taller than me. The gloves were still, going down to my elbows. But we ended up getting fight of the night. I took it straight to him. I let my hands go, and that told a lot, showed a lot about me as a young kid that I had that fight in me. So,
For
my
sure,
first
man.
fight was something memorable, and getting that fight of the night was something really cool. On top of that.
Wow, man. So you must have a lot of amateur experience then. Like, if you started at 8, just going.
Yeah. I have about 60 amateur fights. I know a lot of bunch of dudes have way more fights than me, but I feel like the experience I got in those 60 fights really prepared me for the pro game. I've been to all the national tournaments. I fought with all those top guys ranked within the top five, top 10. I've beaten the national champions. Um, so I feel like I'm right there in the running with all those top guys in my weight classes.
Yeah, man, that's awesome, man. I mean, I think that that's another thing too. Like, you just been in it very long. Like, even a guy like Andy Hiroka, who we just saw fight Gary, he never really had amateur fights, and but he
Mm-hmm.
was just in the gym all the time. So yeah, it does make a
Yep.
difference, bro. For
I actually
sure, for
watched that
sure.
fight. That was a great fight.
Yo, that was a terrific fight, man. I was surprised. I was like, damn, this man, Andy Hiroka, he's a new name, man, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so let's talk about your background, your heritage, man, being Filipino. Like, I'm in Toronto and I see it, bro. When Pacquiao fights, they come out, bro. Is that like in your area, California, the same way?
Yeah, it is. There's a lot of Filipinos in the Bay Area. But like you said, talking about Pacquiao and Nonito Donaire that came out of the Bay Area, seeing those guys
Right.
growing up, they were like an inspiration for me to see people, with the same heritage and for them to rep it proudly in the sport. Um, it made me feel, inspired and motivated to stick with it and be in the game as a Filipino American, representing where my dad came from and my mom's family came from. So, that's really important to me, and I carry that every time I step in the ring.
That's awesome, man. So now that Pacquiao got a promotional team, you ever reach out to him to try to get on a fight card?
Yeah, those guys are down in LA, so hopefully, in the future we can make something happen. That would be great.
Nah, that's awesome, man. And about Nonito Donaire, have you ever come across him in the Bay Area? I know, like you said, he's from there.
I have growing up, we would always go to his open workouts and things like that to go see him train. And Nonito showed us, all love growing up. And Nonito Senior, he was actually my trainer for a couple years before he moved back to the Philippines. So he taught me a lot of
Wow.
things. And this was before I turned professional. So my last couple amateur fights, he was with us, and helped my game expand a lot through him.
Whoa, that's awesome, bro. Having that type of knowledge obviously going to pay off in your pro career. So, where are you looking to fight your weight at right now? Because I see you're at like kind of 124 ish,
Mhm.
126, or is it 122? You think you're gonna settle at?
Yeah, I started at 122 super bantam, and then featherweight. I've been fighting at featherweight 126 for my last couple fights. I'm comfortable making both of them. I'll probably fight at super bantam 122. Depending on the opponents they give me, sometimes I have to float up to 126. So it's really all who they give me right now.
Okay, man. So I gotta ask the magic question. So who winning on May 2nd? Like Junto Nakatani or Inoue? Because that's a big fight in your
That's
division.
tough, man. I'm gonna have to go with Inoue. That dude's a beast. They call him the monster for a reason. Um, but you can't sleep on Nakatani. Both of those dudes are highly skilled, so I'm excited to see that one.
Yeah, man, that's gonna be epic, man. So how long have you been in camp for? Like, do you do 3-month camps or do you just like, man, if I got to fight and I can go right into a next one, no damage, I'm gonna fight next month.
I've been training, consistently since September. My last fight, I took like a week off, and then I've been training. I really got into camp like 10 weeks ago, getting ready for this one. I was supposed to fight another fight in March, but we ended up switching to this card for Elite Underdog Promotions in April. So I was in camp already, and we just kind of extended it a little bit for this fight. Um, I try to stay active outside of my camp so that I don't have to get completely ready and start all over. Um, but yeah, I'm feeling great this camp.
That's good, man. That's good. Are you signed to a promoter or are you still like working that out and doing free agency?
I'm still like a free agent. We're working that out, trying to settle things down. But right now, I've been fighting for a bunch of different promotions out here in Northern California.
That's good, man. I mean, as long as you're staying active, right? Like that's the key thing, just being
Yep,
active. Have you
exactly.
ever talked to any promoters about signing, or is that something like you guys not really worried about right now?
Right now, we're getting a lot of fights with the different promotions, so it's kind of good that we not locked down with one. But eventually, the goal is to get signed to one of the bigger promotions so that I could get my name out there and continue to elevate the level of competition. But being able to fight on these local promotions is exciting. I get to get experience. I get to go to different places and fight and not fight in the same place all the time. So I'm enjoying that, and it's all part of the journey, and I'm loving it.
Yeah, man. Have you ever been called into any big camps yet with some of your, future Hall of Fame fighters or anything like that?
I have not, but I've been getting
No.
some good work with a lot of the fighters from out here.
Nice.
Um, a lot of the pros that are up and coming as well. So we're working with a lot of different people right now to continue to elevate my game.
Yeah, man. And what do you got to say to the kids out there in the Bay Area who, might be thinking about boxing, just don't know how to, take that step?
I would say do it. Boxing is one of the best sports in my opinion because of the discipline and the way that you're gonna push your body. You don't push your body like you do in boxing and other sports. You could play basketball, you could play football, but you can't play boxing. So there's a lot of things that you can learn from this sport that you could carry on into other aspects of life. So I say to all the kids that are thinking about it to go for it, and you know, boxing can open up doors for you that you never thought you could open.
That's facts, man. That's facts. And I gotta ask about the diet, man. I know right now you in camp, so you're probably cutting a lot of things out. But what's your favorite candy or your cheat meal that you like to have?
My favorite candy, I would say the sweet tart ropes, the little fruit punch ones or the cherry ones with the
Okay.
filling in the middle. Those are my go-to when I stop at the gas station.
Which brand? Which brand?
Those are that's the little the sweet tarts.
Ah, the sweet tarts. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
My
You
favorite
got
cheat meal, let's see, I would say some fried chicken and rice. That's my
mm,
go-to after fights. That's what I'm going to.
fried chicken and rice. You a Chick-fil-A guy?
Not really.
Not really, eh? Not on that. Okay, okay. Yeah, man. So yeah, shout out to you for taking time out to speak with me and my community. We appreciate you for coming out, man. Undefeated fighter 6-0, doing your thing. What do you say is the hardest thing about being a prospect? Because you know you're still uncertain of a lot of things as a fighter.
I would say the hardest thing is just moving strategically. We have to, we're not coming out of the amateurs. I didn't have the biggest name, so we have to take a route where I could build my name, and then once I make some noise, then I got to take full advantage of that once I get an opportunity. So right now we gotta continue to build, and with each fight I have to continue elevating my skill and meeting the demand. So um not having that name, being a multi-time national champion coming out of the amateurs or fighting internationally in the amateurs, um I feel like that's probably the biggest thing. I have to create those opportunities through these type of fights right now.
Right, right. And where can people get the tickets for the fight?
Oh, they could get the tickets through contacting me on Instagram or TikTok or Twitter, all those, Facebook, on all socials. It's Kyle.Lacanlale. Reach out, and I got tickets available for the fight April 4th.
All right, let the people know where they can find you, Kyle, so they can get them tickets from you, brother.
Reach out to me, Kyle Lacanlale, on all social platforms. We could get these tickets out to you so you could be in the building on April 4th in Union City for the Elite Underdog Promotions card.
Make sure you guys check him out, man. Undefeated prospect coming up, three KO wins. Looking for another big KO win. We'll talk to you soon, my brother. Maybe after the fight when things calm down, man. But I wish nothing but best of luck to you. And I know you're gonna get that dub, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I appreciate you for having me.
I appreciate you too, bro. Peace.